So in front of us right now, we have one of our Redarc vehicle-specific dual battery kits. And this one's specifically designed for a dual cab, Ford Ranger or BT-50. So we're just going to run through where it's all designed to go, how the setup is installed, and how you can go about getting this into your own vehicle. So under the bonnet in a Ford Ranger, there's not room in the later model ones. So this is designed to go under the rear seat in a dual cab or with a slimline battery behind the rear seats. So I'll just scroll down and show you where the unit is designed to be installed. So this is on our website, Aussie Drifter Touring. You can see more info about it. So we're looking right beside the rear seats now, behind the rear door. So that's where the Redarc BCDC actually mounts on this stainless steel laser cut bracket to the seating mounts. So there's no requirement of drilling any holes, screwing anything in. It simply utilizes existing Ford bolts. You just undo them, mount this bracket in place and re-put the bolts back into place. So as easy as it is to put in, it comes out just as easily. So once that's mounted beside the seats, we can mount the charger up. Just left that not mounted to the bracket just because it's easier to access these bolts. And then once that's done, in the kit, you've got all your nuts and bolts required to fix that into position. So coming out of the charger, we'll just run through each part of the harness. So the first thing you're going to see is an Anderson plug, which has got marked on its solar panel input. So the Redarc BCDC charger is actually a 3-in-1 unit. It's a 25 amp 3-stage battery charger while you're driving. It's a solar controller while you're camping. And it's also an isolator, so it isolates the main battery from the auxiliary battery. So anything you wire up to the auxiliary battery can't possibly flatten the main battery. If you have permanent solar on your Ford Ranger, if you have a panel on the canopy, you can permanently mount it into here and it actually has green power priority. So it'll take as much energy as it can from the sun before it takes any out of the vehicle. So best for fuel economy and engine load. So if we travel a little bit further down the harness, we're going to see it splits into two different positions. So with the Ford Ranger, it actually has what's called a variable voltage, or you might have heard a smart alternator. So the first small part of the harness is designed to go up to the fuse box under the driver's kick panel, under his knee there. And it's as simple as plug and play. So it's just a matter of unplugging an existing fuse out of the fuse box, plugging this in and replacing it with our fuse holder here. Just gives the unit an ignition feed basically. There's two different fuse holders depending on the make or model of your vehicle. When you purchase this kit, we do post out some digital instructions. So that's pages of a PDF with high quality color pictures and video tutorials to aid you with taking apart the kick panel and that sort of thing. So once we follow on from there in the harness, our next shortest lead is going to be the auxiliary battery connection. So it's about a 1.5 meter lead, so it will reach to that well under the seat or to a battery, a slimline battery that you've got set up behind the back seats if you've got room there. So I'll just show you another photo there of an example of that. So there's a battery, that's a lithium battery secured in the storage compartment that's under the passenger seats at the rear on the driver's side. So it's designed to go into there. I'll just scroll back up to here. So this is the website, AussieDrifterTouring.com, if you're into this kit. So once you've connected to the auxiliary battery, the next part of the harness, and this is the longest part of the harness, so it's designed to go from that position we are in the back of the car up into the engine bay. So it's probably about a 5 meter harness here. The route it's designed to take is through a channel or under the rear seats to get us onto the other side of the vehicle. Then it follows up the footwells and it actually exits the car under the passenger seat in the front. There's a grommet there, so once again, no holes required. You're going through an existing grommet. Once we're outside, we're just following the chassis rail up to the engine bay and connecting to the vehicle's main start battery. And this is marked main battery, so our negative and our positive. We've just left the fuse holder off for now because it just makes it easier to route this cable up into position. Once we're up there, just an 8mm bolt, we'll get that fuse holder on and click it in. So these are what's called MIDI fuse holders. Redarc recommend MIDI fuse holders with their equipment. Main reason being it's a good solid connection for high current. So unlike a push-in fuse holder that's just relying on resistance, this is actually locked into position firmly by the use of a nut and bolt system. So once that's connected, we then connect this to the main battery. So there are two connections, main battery, or three connections, auxiliary battery, and just the ignition feed. One other small feature in this kit, because it's inside the vehicle, the battery, you can use AGM batteries or lithium would be recommended. So we've left the battery profile wires exposed in this kit. So if you were using an AGM battery, you wouldn't have to do anything, probably just heat shrink over these terminals to cover them up and insulate them. And once you do that, there's a big bit of heat shrink that slides over. You can heat that down with a cigarette lighter, any heat source that you've got available, and that will keep it nice and neat. But if you are, the option is there to run lithium in this kit, lithium battery. So if you did want to do lithium battery, you would just slide one of these off, push these two together. So that's our orange and green wires, you might be able to see there. Once they're pushed together, slide the heat shrink over, shrink that down, and shrink that as well. And that will put the profile of the Redarc charger into lithium. And the way we're going to tell that is, once you've connected all the power in the system, we've got our charge profile lights here. And this is all explained in the Redarc manual that comes with the kit as well. But so if we're doing AGM, we'd stay in A profile, which means we don't have to touch those wires. If we're doing lithium, we want to be in the lithium profile, and we'll see that light up as soon as you power up the system. That light will be flashing, and that's by connecting those two wires. So check out our website, check out the kit on our website, which is aussiedriftertouring.com.au. You'll see all the details there, some videos to help aid with the instructions and the installation of the kit, and then you can get this kit put into your either Ford Ranger or BT-50. So this kit is designed for the battery to go in the back of the Ford Ranger, as we've discussed. But if you're wanting to set up a Ford Ranger with a battery in the canopy or in the tub, we'd recommend the universal kit for this situation. So it's designed to go into any vehicle basically, in the back of the tub or in a canopy setup. It's perfectly designed for that. It comes with a 7-meter cable to reach out of the canopy, out of the tub, and head up to the engine bay. When you're dealing with a Ford Ranger with a variable voltage alternator, we need to connect in the ignition wire like this kit has utilised. So, and we have a way of doing that with the universal kit using our Smart Ignition Sense. So if you buy the universal kit, Smart Ignition Sense, it's suitable for the Ford Ranger. And basically that Smart Ignition Sense is a smart module that can determine when the car is running and idling, and it will, through voltage, it analyzes voltage, vibration and inertia, and through those three parameters it determines that the vehicle is running and tells the Redarc unit to keep charging. So if you're doing a rear setup in a Ford Ranger, we'd recommend checking out the website, but rather than this kit that we've just explained, using the universal Redarc or Enerdrive dual battery kit.